So we are here to share with you an amazing story about our usage of a data hub and transforming the future of a data spaces together. Thank you for an amazing introduction. My name is Maria. I'm a product owner of a data exchange, and together with me, indeed, as Miko already mentioned, is Joel. Joel is a developer from my team, from a data exchange team. This is what I'm planning to cover today on the presentation. I've chosen to focus on the data spaces because it's a new concept for a lot of you and a completely different use case of a data hub. So who is a KPN? I think you have heard of us already, but we are a telecom company. We have always connected people already since 1881. However, in the beginning, we did it quite literally with a wire and a pin, as you can see on the ladies. These days, we connect people through fixed and mobile networks, cloud solutions, social media, apps. We're connected everything and everyone, private and commercial, wherever and whenever we want. Our reliable networks reach every corner of the Netherlands. Let's look at a couple of the figures about KPN. We have over 10.5 million mobile subscribers, 10+ million IoT connections, 4.5 million fiber connections. We have been awarded the best tested mobile network in the world. We are the best mobile network in the Netherlands, and we've been awarded the most sustainable telecom brand in 2022. So KPN technology is helping to find an answers to social questions of today and tomorrow. And now, together with a data hub, we want to unlock the potential of the data spaces. Me and Joel, we are working on the platform called DSH, which is a data services hub. It's a platform for a data exchange for different parties to collaborate and exchange mainly real-time data with each other. We have over 250 tenants. Some of them are companies, some of them are Scrum teams. We can operate at a very high scale, currently connecting more than 1 million concurrent devices. We are cloud agnostic and operating on 8 production platforms for our users. So I just mentioned, we operate on multiple cloud infrastructures. As you can see on the picture, we are operating on AWS and on Azure. Our implementation of Data Hub, we want to share the metadata from multiple sources. On AWS, that would be S3, Postgres, REST APIs, Kafka. And we also would like to share the metadata of Azure Blob Storage. Unfortunately, that part was not supported recently by Data Hub. So we have decided to create this feature and for us and for everyone else to be used. So this is what we actually did. We did create this feature for you guys and for us. Thanks to that, now we have the insights of all our data assets that are residing on the multiple platforms in one data catalog. So how did we actually do it? First, we started with the project scoping. We want to create the metadata ingestion for Azure Blob storage source with tags, properties, and SaaS authentication. After the forking the GitHub repository, we look at the project. It turns out to be a quite large size of the code base. Nevertheless, the very modular build, it facilitated straightforward modification and extension. So we totally recommend it for everyone else. After a short analysis, it turns out that we do have a small challenge. Both S3 as a Google Cloud support from a container-based metadata are interoperable with S3. Unfortunately, the Azure Blob Storage is not, and it's never going to be. And that presented a slight challenge in the how to work with the integration of that metadata. So how have we actually done it? We have made use of a Data Hub modular code base, and we mimic S3 source ingestion implementation and replaced that with an Azure specifics. So it wasn't that bad. We definitely recommend it for everyone else. Why do we contribute to open source? First of all, we want to be a good citizen. We are using quite a lot of open source applications within our project, and it's a good practice to also give it back to the community, improve it through the software through a collective effort. We also want, of course, the DataHub to thrive. We want to contribute to help maintain and advance the tool, as well as libraries, communities that are living around DataHub. And of course, we're also taking care of our employees and their health. So we also would like them to gain their valuable skills and experience through the open source contribution. Last but not least, we have our own also goal in it. And of course, that's unlocking the potential of a data spaces. So what are those? Let's dive into it. From KPN and DSH perspective, it's our ambition to become the leader in the data space services. Imagine the data ecosystem with several different parties that hold onto their individual data. Some of those parties might have common interest. The exchange of those data can benefit them all, society or researchers. Let's take an example of the logistics. The container travels around the globe, handled by the different parties with different IT systems. In order to be allowed to better track your products during a transport, the companies must join together the data space initiatives. One party can publish the information once, and the other parties can consume it and utilize it in their infrastructure. To achieve it, the data spaces offer the infrastructure for these players. The data members seamlessly access, share, and govern their data during over multiple data platforms and between also different data spaces. What does it mean? It means basically that the data space is an infrastructure that enables the transactions between different parties based on the governance framework of that data space. Data spaces are adopted by European Union, which wants to ensure that more data becomes available in the economy, society, and research, while keeping the companies and individuals who generate the data in control. Again, the data spaces are not related to the infrastructures, but to the rules, principles, and governance that will allow the data to be exchanged between the parties that do not know each other in a secure and managed environment. There are few implementations already on the market. We are following the IDSA implementation, which is International Data Spaces Association, which provides the thorough reference architecture model for how to implement the data spaces. IDS describes the difference between the control plane and the data plane. The platform that we already have, the Data Services Hub, is considered the data plane. This is where the actual exchange of the data happens. But the IDSA describes also a control plane, which we can call KPN Data Space Services. The control plane is responsible for deciding how the data is managed, routed, and processed. For example, the control plane handles the identification of the users and handling the access of the usage of and the policies, the contracts. It provides the information about the available data assets, allows the correct contracts to be signed between the data space members. In other words, by also using the different connectors to federate the data, it allows to exchange the data not only between the data holder and the data consumer, but also with the different data spaces itself. If we zoom in, you can see that there are different building blocks of the KPN Data Services Hub. You can see there a data catalog as one of the main building blocks. And as you already know, we have chosen a DataHub as a solution to share our metadata with the data catalog. Why did we choose for a data hub? We have chosen it for a real-time ingestion, for scalability, for a wonderful community surrounding the open source application. It's very important not only to choose the right technology for all of these blogs, but it's also very important to choose the technologies that can interact with other technologies that are on the market. And we hope that the Data Hub, well, we can actually see that the Data Hub is helping us achieving that. We have already created a POC, which allowed us to share the data assets from the data services hub, so from our platform towards the data catalog, and then share it with one of the proposed data spaces on the market. Yes, so a couple of the closing thoughts. We are super happy with the support that we got from the Data Hub team. We wanted to really compliment you guys. Thank you very much for helping us achieving our objectives. We also want to give a specific thank you for Tamas for guiding us through the contribution process. Just a couple concepts that we have gone through. We are very happy with our contribution to of Azure Blob storage ingestion source. What are the data spaces? Data spaces are shared ecosystems for interoperable data exchange among the parties. DSH has an ambition to become a leader in delivering capabilities and exchanging data for data spaces. And Data Hub for us is the help us to with its key features to discover data assets and share them with other parties and the data spaces. We don't have a particular wish list for you guys, but we would love if a Data Hub can become an also ADS-RAM compliant. That's a certificate that the ADS grants to parties that comply to their specifications to help us also in the data space ambitions. And this will also help accelerate the adoption of a Data Hub in Europe. Here are a couple of contacts. If you would like to know more or have any questions, you can always reach out to us. You will be very welcome with your contact. Thank you so much.